Hey guys, welcome back to Tamiya Legends, and once again, thank you for stopping by. So yeah, this is one I've been excited about. So if you didn't see the first video, I bought this cheapish TTO2 kit, Toyota Supra, sort of road-going version of it. They call it the Racing A80. For me personally, I'm not a massive lover of how it looks in this box art, but I realised when I started to do a bit of research on it, it's exactly the same shell moulding shape as the original one they brought out in around about 2000 on the TL01 chassis. So I'll just put a couple of pictures up. There's a couple of Toyota Toms GT cars that Tamiya did. First one was around about 96 and was on the T802 W chassis. Now that's the better looking of the two in my opinion. And then they did this one, which was on the around about, as I say, 2000 on the TL01 chassis. Now this is going to be a bit of a mismatch. So what I will say first up is this is the first Toyota Tom's Castrol car I've ever done, so I am a little bit excited about it. But as I say, it's going to be a little bit of a mismatch. So obviously we've got this shaped shell, but I couldn't get the correct Toyota Tom's decals for it. MCI only do one sheet, well there's two sheets for the set, but this is for the 96 one. So we are going to have to make things fit. But I think why I like the original one better, or that shape better, is because they've used the chrome two-piece wheels. So I've got a set of those, and as you know, I've had these before, and you can get tremendous detail on these. So yeah, a little bit of a mismatch, but I think at the end of it, it's going to look pretty damn cool, or so I hope. So unfortunately, first bit is we've got to build a TTO2 chassis. Nothing special about this. I'm not putting bearings in it or anything. I'm just building it totally kit form. This is not going to be a shelf queen, but I mean, for the amount of use it'll get, if it looks okay and I'm happy with it when it's done, it's going to get a 1 or 2 batteries through it, that's it, and then it will go on the shelf. I'm saying that, maybe I'll really like it and I'll really want to run it, I don't know. It's all depending how it's going to look. Anyway, let's get building it. Right, that's everything dug out. Very, very basic chassis this. Interestingly, shout out to RC Retro. He messaged me, he was building a TTO2 Subaru Impreza, and he was saying, what did you use last time? Short, high, wide? And I was like, I didn't have a clue what he was on about. I knew about the 2 different wheelbases, but yeah, anyway, I didn't build that car, and the last TTO2 I did, I don't think it had this section. This could be something new. So obviously, as I said, the wheelbase is 257. That's the one we're using on this car, but you can go short to 251. But you can also get 2 different ride heights, which I was unaware about. I'll be going low, and then you can have wide or narrow. Now that I'm pretty certain that's just achieved by using the wheel adapters, which I'll definitely be having to have a play with as we go. But yeah, I don't remember seeing that in the last TTO2 I did, but I might be wrong. Anyway, let's start this process. Right, that's that first stage complete. So that's the prop shafting, and as you can see, very, very basic setup. Yeah, next up is to build the diffs. Right, so that's the 2 diffs built. What you might have noticed, the eagle-eyed of you guys, I'm building this dry, just to save time, but I have put the cups in just to make sure everything's working correctly. Not that it really matters. My thinking behind that is, I have quite a few TTO2 chassis, so if I do really want to run this car with a new shell on, then I'll just put it on a chassis that's fully ball raced and ready to go with the motor and speedo in, just to save some time. So anyway, that's that section. Let's crack on. Right, so that's front gearbox, gear casing, housings on. Everything's smooth, or as smooth as it can be, dry. Front and back top arms are now on. Now, next stage would be normally to fit the pinion on the motor and get the motor in, but I'm not going to bother with that. That's a bit pointless. So we'll just put the motor mount in on its own with then the gear cover. So let's crack on. Right, so that's where we're up to. That's both front and rear, upper and lower arms on now. The shock towers are on, everything's still free. Front and back bumpers, very, very basic, a TTO2. But I would say it looks pretty cool when you bling it up. If you put the blue alloy prop shaft and cups and the blue steering set, and you can get the blue alloy motor mount as well, just to bling it up, and it just it adds some colour to the black chassis, which in my opinion always looks cool. So what's this say? It says hi. Oh, so this is if you want to go for like a rally car, you go to page 18, but we just continue because we're going to have this as low as we can. So it's front uprights next. Right, that's the shocks on. Friction shocks, not oil. So, not the best, but for what we're doing, not a problem at all. What's next? Instructions. So we just got to make the steering up. Again, I will do that because then it'll keep the wheels together for movement, if that makes sense. So let's dig those parts out. Right, that's basically the car chassis built. Very straightforward. I don't know how long the time lapse was for, but probably taken me about an hour and 20 minutes to get it to that stage. What I have done, I put different screws across that bridge because I didn't want the steering flopping around. So that just allows me to tighten that area up, which means obviously we can keep the wheels straight. Again, shelf queen chassis, so it's not needed doesn't need to move freely. So yeah, so looking at the instructions now, that's pretty much it. So obviously we've got to now start thinking about the body shell, what body mounts, what actual body posts it use, because you get a few different types, the front bumpers to go on, and then we've got to start messing around with wheel adapters and stuff. So what I'll do is I'll dig the other instructions out for the body shell. I'll fit the correct body post to it, I'll fit the bumper, and then we'll probably have to have a look at cutting the actual shell out. Right, so just quickly put the body posts on, I'll put the front bumper on as well, and just first check of the body shell really, just to make sure it looks, the wheelbase looks good. And yeah, it looks cock on. Do you notice the wheel arches are cut? Oh, how happy am I? So yeah, it looks pretty cock on. So I guess the next stage is to cut this shell out properly now. Again, with the wheel arches being done, that's going to make it, oh, that's a tight fit. It's going to make it a little bit easier. All right, I'm not going to do that one-handed. I'll break something. So yeah, I'll go away and I'll cut the shell out. I'm just going to take my time because I want to make sure there's nothing extra I want to leave on, because I want this car as low as I can get it. So I don't know if I want to leave a little bit extra on the front or if it'll be low enough. But yeah, once we get that, then we can start putting the digging the wheels out and figuring out if the offsets are going to be correct. And yeah, there's a lot of messing around yet with this, but we might as well do it at this stage. Right, so what I've done is I opened one pack of the two-piece chrome wheels up, and I've just put 2 screws in. It takes 5, but I've made the rears with the wide offsets, so there's more chrome, and obviously the fronts are the narrow. So first indications are it's not going to be a million miles off. I know this is not the best way of seeing it, but the fronts with the narrow, now it kind of looks like it's slightly too far in. So yeah, I know I'm jumping ahead of myself here, but there's 2 ways of fixing that. Again, we won't know until the body's cut and the tyres are on, but I could pack it out slightly with a couple of washers to leave it narrow, or I could make it like the rear with the wide section. But with that said, obviously we don't know if that's going to be too wide. Difficult to say from here. So yeah, what I've basically done is I've set it up to how I normally set these wheels up. So I think what I'll do now is I'll open the other pack up and I'll make another 2 like this, and we'll put them on. We'll actually fit them with the tyres on now as well, and then we'll cut the body shell out, and then we'll have a much sort of better understanding. Again, a lot of this fettling is done at the end when it's painted. It's kind of got to be finished before you start just messing around with slight offsets, even if it's only like a mil, half a mil here and there. Right, yeah, let's get cracking. Right, so we're in that lovely part of the hobby where we're just messing around because it's not looking quite how I want it to look initially. So what I've done is I had the narrows on the front, but to be honest, with the standard adapters I've used, it's probably too wide by about 1 to 1.5 mil at the rear. At the moment, that's what I'm kind of thinking. But the fronts weren't wide enough using the narrow setting. So obviously we can pack that out slightly with washers to keep the narrow. But I thought what I'll just do is I'll just change the fronts over so they're deep dish to match the rears. Now I kind of think the original might have been like that. I will have to check, but from memory I think it was wide all the way around. Anyway, it kind of looks better. So I know right now it's pretty horrendous to look at because you can't tell with it being transparent, but you get the idea. So the front deep dish, they don't look too bad at all. I put the wing on. I'm not right happy with that wing. It wants to sit at more of an angle. It's not the best fit, that, so I might have to pack that out with something. Let me see if I can lower the camera. So I think that gives you a better angle of it. Yeah, I think I'm kind of, that's where I am with it right now until we obviously get it painted and what have you. I'm thinking, obviously it's sat on body clips, but I'm thinking that the rear just wants raising by about maybe 1.5 mil again, which we can do with an O-ring or foam or something like that. and the shell's not dead straight. I've got to trim that yet. And from the other side, so you get the gist of it. Yeah, it's not bad, is it? It's not bad at all. Yeah, those wheels will definitely... Well, don't forget the chrome behind the white we've got to paint. And get a load of detail on these wheels. The wheels are going to make this car, in my opinion. But yeah, you get the kind of gist of where we're at. So yeah, I think the wide dished fronts are going to stay on. Because they look pretty darn good, if I'm honest. Yeah, again, there's no point really doing any more messing around. That kind of looks close enough. What I'll just do now is I'll just trim the rest of the body correctly. I've made a bit of a pig of a front, so I'm going to have to sand that. But and I've left that line. Let's see if I can move this round. I left some extra rear on. That's the cut line there. But I thought maybe I'll let it sit a bit lower. But yeah, looking at it now, what I'll do is I'll go around and cut it properly. So I'll go away and cut it, and then I'll come back. So that's pretty much it. I think that's enough sort of fettling at the moment until we actually do get it painted. Because as I say, once you got paint on it, it can make things look very, very different to how you think they are now. So I don't want to waste any time doing anything else on it. Yeah, I think initial thoughts are that's going to look half decent. So, unfortunately, I've been a bit of a dumbass and I've got no white paint. I have, but I've only got dregs. I should have had a delivery of paint and I forgot to check. So I've just emailed them now to find out where it is. So this has just come to an abrupt halt, which I'm a bit gutted about. I was hoping to get right through this in one video. Anyway, we've got a decent amount done. We've got the boring chassis built, and the car's kind of taking shape to roughly how I want it to look. So what I'll do is, once I end this video, I'll just go up and I'll go around and I'll trim the shell up and file it, sand it, and get it absolutely nice and smooth and straight. And then yeah, we'll come back in another video and we'll do all the bodywork, which is not a bad thing because there's going to be a hell of a lot to do. Obviously we've got to clean it, mask it, we've got a black front splitter to paint first, then mask the windows, painting it all white. The wing mounts need to be painted black, the full wing needs to be painted white, the chromes behind the wheels need to be painted black, and then there's black detail to go on the wheels, and then we've got all the decaling. So there is quite a lot to do, to be fair, so it's probably better in a separate video. Anyway guys, so I'll end this video here, unfortunately. So thanks so much for watching, it's really appreciated. If you are new to this channel, if you could please consider liking and subscribing to support us, and if you do that, smash that notification bell for our weekly videos. And as always guys, happy arseeing.